All right, good morning, guys. Quick sound check. Happy Tuesday. Damn, this market is moving. All right. I put up a morning right up there in the chat. Essentially just a word of caution. Just I think the main thing here is just be nimble and be patient with this. I don't really know what to kind of expect here. There's an idea maybe we buy 3008s on the Russell and try and look to see if it wants to go higher. I don't really know that I subscribe to that in full, like right off the open. So I'm kind of just keeping that as something to just see if it happens or not. The Dow just continues to rip. There's no levels up here, so I don't really know what to do with it. Let it do its thing. NASDAQ got a little pop there and now kind of pulling back some. Like legitimately right before the bell, so I don't really know what to do in there either. We got about 140 points to go to the downside, 29,085s. And then we've got about 100 points to the upside for 29,324s. And maybe a little bit more in there. So I don't know. I'm going to be patient here. I'm going to let this kind of do its thing initially. And yeah, I'm gonna kick back, let it do its thing. We got about 13 seconds here until the bell. NASDAQ kind of acts like it might want to spike a little bit there. Yeah, I think pullbacks for S&P to 46.75s are potentially on the table. I'm not opposed to that. Just a matter of whether it can or can't do it. Yeah, NASDAQ making that push. 236s there. Look like we're pushing for those 324s. Russell's just on the underside of that 308s at the moment. And a few gold. Yeah, I saw gold move in there. 25-point rally initially there on the day. 41.31's in effect there. I'm kind of halfway hoping that Russell maybe pulls back to 2980s. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Kind of signal a little bit of market pullback. $311s on these highs so far for NASDAQ. That was NASDAQ trading those 324s. NASDAQ trying to push through the 324s here. First thing. I don't have anything for this at the moment. I'm kind of thinking the Russell might pull back, but I'm not super interested in shorting it off of 3008s. The strong names yesterday get a little gap down here, like the Microsoft, the Google, the Metas. Yeah, a Dow pullback would be nice, right? NASDAQ here just 164-point ripper in 4 minutes. What are we going to do with that? There is technically a level above here, 483s. I mean, maybe we pull back to 324s and try an attempt on a long there, but even that, I mean, still feel like chasing. Shit, I might just go get that 483s without stopping. NASDAQ up 1.73% on the day now. S&P is only up 0.5%. Russell 0.52, Dow 1.23. It's virtually an impossible long off of just straight rip off the open there for NASDAQ. Like what are we gonna do with that? 483s above. Getting closer and closer to it. NASDAQ in that pullback. And that was a short-lived pullback. A short-lived pullback. Yeah, just waiting for a pullback of some sort. Let's see if we can get this pullback to like 324s. Russell's actually kind of holding now, maybe? Does this like push up through 308s? And like try and do something to the upside? Nasdaq's pulling back? Or do we short it? Rejection off 3008s maybe. I don't love really either answer to that question. Dow looking like it wants to get new lows. Russell sitting here right at this 3008. I don't know, what do you guys think? Think we rally from here in the Russell, or do you think we break down back down towards 3,000? We're about to get, this low is 965. It's about to get new lows there for the Dow. I feel like we get those new lows and Russell pushes up through 3008s. It's probably more of a long than anything. Meanwhile, Nasdaq kind of wants to pull back though. Nasdaq going for that 483s. It's wild. It's actually crazy. You think we rally? I kind of tend to agree with you on that at the moment. Meanwhile, Dow getting a pullback here. No pullback there to 324s for Nasdaq, which is kind of crazy as well. A little bit of a divergence here now. Russell just popped those highs, has a signal in place. Under 3007s maybe. It's not bad. The idea being that we reject and go lower. This 5-minute bar needs to set here. 3006.50 is those lows currently. I kind of said this morning I wouldn't mind this pulling back to 2980s. I'm kind of still in that same mindset here. I wouldn't be opposed to that happening in the Russell. We're seeing that in the Dow. Maybe NASDAQ does the same thing after it trades 483s. Like we're so close, 452s. Because S&P's got pullback room to 4675s, which is about 23 points from current price. The Dow's got room to like 53,600s. That's another damn near 300 points. So yeah, I think we wait here and let this NASDAQ try for one more push. You could try a little Russell short if you wanted. Like I mentioned, that 5-minute bar needed to finish, but it's kind of large now. So look to see what this rally can do, and then maybe we push like 3006s or something again. Nothing crazy, and then under the open, that 15-minute bar likely will be ready at that point. Would be my guess. 483s coming up here. Should we short 483s just for shits and giggles? I really hate that idea, but I kind of like it at the same time. Yeah, like if we don't fail there from 483s, which I guess technically we could hold there obviously and push through, but like if that happens, there's room to 30,061s, which is like 600 points. So it's like, I could kind of see this rejecting from there back down to 29,085s. Was that 400 points basically? Russell there didn't pop much, 3005.50s. So yeah, not much of a pop there. And back under the open now. So I guess you could technically be short the I missed calling it out when we pushed under the open there, but could technically be short that potentially. Maybe it does a little double divergence down here. Again, I'm giving ideas, but nothing's I was gonna say something that is definitely not PG rated on that, but nothing's giving me the warm and fuzzies here. Let's go with that. What's up, Larry? I'll take an idea where your money is on the lines. Well, at the moment, I kind of want to short NASDAQ. I'm really not even. It doesn't turn me off. scares me a little bit just with the strength, but I mean, let's be honest, I'm probably not going to do it, but like I see the idea that it maybe works. Although I would have kind of said the same thing yesterday about 731s potentially giving us a little bit more pull. I mean, would that pull back like 40 points? We traded back to like 700s. So yeah, I kind of think we just, if it does do anything there, I mean, pullbacks to 324s with like Dow potentially finding a bottom here in a little bit for some type of divergence. Maybe it's the Russell. I still think there's like 20 points in the Russell to pull back. You're just fighting this one way or the other. You're either fighting the S&P, NASDAQ versus the Russell Dow. Like, no matter which way you go, like there's those two are moving together and these two are moving together. So there's nothing else you can do about it. And this is why we don't short 483s, because we just pushed right through that. Although it probably works. There's the Russell testing back to open. Dow maybe wanting to do a little something there. Russell trying to find a bottom. Russell trying to push right back up to that 3008s. Do we long that? I feel like it's early for it. I guess there's technically room to like 39s, right? Can it stand on its own? Does it need a retest to the open? Those are like the questions I'm asking at the moment. Tough to want to long this when NASDAQ literally just pushed right up into those 483s and Dow hasn't found a bottom, but it's kind of looking like a decent little bottom here. S&P is pushing higher there. If we can get a little pullback in here, recheck those 3008s, get this close, at least like a 5-minute close up here, then I'm not opposed to the Russell. Like I said, I think there's room to like 3039s, 3029s at a minimum there, which is about 20 points, give or take, right? So I'm open to that. It's on the table. I'm not shorting NASDAQ off 483s, although I would really enjoy that. I say that, but I might not enjoy it if it rips in my face. Any news on the day? No, like Forex Factory calendar is bare. Like there's some New Zealand stuff coming out at like 6:45 Eastern tonight. Nothing. Jolt's job opening's at 10, but it's not red impact, so I'm not really expecting too much out of it. Russell just doing some nonsense there, whatever that is. Russell just pushed through 30, 12, 90s. That must have been a level, an alert that I had set from a while ago. That was probably enough right there for NASDAQ to say, hey, you could probably try a little short off that. Try and capture a couple points to the downside just now. Looks like the Russell wants to continue higher though. So yeah, this would be your short attempt for the NASDAQ, which just pulled back like 30 points there. You could probably watch it for retest back up to 483s for a little lower high type situation. See if there's an entry there. But it's getting the move there. If we do pull all the way back to 29,085s, I will be a little upset because it was a pretty decent little short off the top there on that little 2-minute bar high. Google strong. Strong like bull. Microsoft as well. Dow here didn't make new lows. Trying to give it a little stab to hold here at 830s. I'm not giving it a stab. I'm just saying it's trying to hold there for a moment. Interesting timing though with NASDAQ kind of coming off that 483 up there. Like I said, if we do fail from up here, there's a lot of room to the downside, which is why I'm not super aggressive on this entry, because I think there will be other entry opportunities. But if we do something similar to yesterday, which is kind of like we get this little pullback right here, we traded 425s, 75 points off highs there, and then we start holding around those 480s, then I think it would be a crazy move, but the only thing that's up there is like 600 points away. So I'm not really trying to long that for that move, I don't think, just given the daily. but I might have to try it. S&P's only got 100 points to go till new all-time highs. SPY is technically new all-time highs today. QQQ, yeah, same thing. There's a lot of room there. 712.48s. Could keep an eye on that. 733s is up above. Let's see here. The 7th would be that. Damn, even like the 730 calls for Qs, which is 20 points out of the money, they're $1.20 right now. It's rather large. Rather large here. All right, Russell, pull back. You could try a little bit right here. Down, maybe trying to find a little bit of a bottom. I grabbed a small little piece here. I'm gonna give it like 2.5 points. Look to see if we can't get $30.29s maybe? About 20 points. S&P's new highs there. Nice move. Nice move. Good patience. Literally traded 3007.90s there. We had the little 15-minute close above as well. Recheck. That's pretty. 3013s. NASDAQ right back up at 483s here. So we're kind of in a good spot here, I think, on Russell. That's a nice reaction. Entries were right down there, fairly low, around 3008s. And yeah, let's look to see what we can do with this. Let it ride. I think we might have found a little bit of a bottom in the Dow, but it probably won't matter if Russell does the thing we want. So we'll just let that do its thing. Drink don't need no mix. This could be that this could be that little retest for a lower high I mentioned on the NASDAQ, or it could be pushing back up to here to try and hold and continue to go higher and kind of that whole picture. So keep an eye on that. I'm not going to be long Russell and short NASDAQ, although probably a decent trade idea. You'd have to do it at a multiple. It's not a one-to-one type of situation, but I also don't think that it's worth capping the Russell long idea either. It's a nice move so far. Nice move so far in the Russell. My entry is 3008.90s. So, I mean, again, we snagged it basically right off that low. Yeah, I do market orders for pretty much everything. There goes NASDAQ. That's a dangerous proposition trying to short off that 483s. This is the piece that I was like, I don't know that we just don't pull back 50 points and then rip up through there like we did yesterday for 731. So if that's the case, there's 600 points to rally here. I'm going to struggle. I'm going to struggle with that if we just do it. I guess we might have to wait for a pullback to 483s like we did 731s yesterday. I mean, we kind of got it there in the Russell. Nice little cute entry. I suppose if that works, then we don't necessarily have to do anything else on the day, but although if NASDAQ does fail back under 483s, which is not something we saw yesterday, that would obviously change that decision process. I don't know that we're going to, but I'm just saying if we do. Microsoft ripping, Google ripping there. Now we just wait. NASDAQ's getting some good love though. Nice little 50 points pushed through there. The question here is whether Dow is done or not. I'm kind of thinking it's not done going lower. Crude oil getting absolutely smacked. I saw this thing this morning at 79 bucks. 76 and change now. That's an ugly looking chart. You might see USO back at like $90. Not today, but over the next like 4 or 5 weeks. I wouldn't be too surprised to see that. Bond's interesting little rally here. I don't even know if you can trade bonds on most of the props or not. I've not tried. Excuse me. If you would have asked me yesterday, I would have been kind of bearish on gold. I mean, I see where the weekly's at. But I'm kind of thinking it might drop to like 3,500-ish, like bigger picture. Still in there yet. We could go higher in the short term here, but you guys ever get that spot like right on the back of like the shoulder blade that like it wants to crack, it wants to pop, and it just like you can feel it like right there. It just won't go. That's what I'm dealing with at the moment. Strawberry wine. Yeah, stay strong all the time. Kind of like that little bottoming tail there for the Russell. So we can't get this to push back up through like 30-15s. I think we'll be good. It's not necessarily doing anything wrong at the moment, just kind of slowish. I think the Russell and the Dow are going to try and fight each other just a little bit here. I'm not entirely convinced that the Dow has found a bottom. So I think the Russell is trying to join forces with the S&P NASDAQ here for this rally. And it's having a little bit of a hard time with that. They're not letting it in the Cool Kids Club at the moment. They shall, though. They shall. Just put their arm around that little guy and carry him on with them. If we can push up through and get the rest of this move, we can honestly probably bring stops up to better than break even. maybe use this little low right here at 1190s for something. But we would have to get that push, which at the moment we're not getting just yet. S&P is unfortunate, no pullback to 76.46s there, because that would have been a nice pullback for longs. I don't want to long the Dow yet still. I think that it's trying to do a little something here, but I think it's just faking. I think it's just doing a little shaky shake. And the ticks are fairly flat here. It's crazy, there's a 336 point range already on the day in the NASDAQ. 45 minutes into the day, and we've just gone legitimately straight up. And like the most pullback we got was about 75 points off that 483. Maybe, just maybe. A little weakness there out of the NASDAQ. And the Dow is actually pushing up towards opening print. So maybe I was wrong on the Dow. There's a first for everything. 53,999s. We just pushed through that. There's not a ton of room. There's 100 points up to highs. We technically moved about 200 points so far off those 830s. There's nothing at 830s. I'm just saying like that's roughly where the lows were. I think we just let the Russell rock. I mean, if it gets to targets, then so be it. Like, we don't technically have to do anything else. It's not really getting the follow through that I want to see, though. I would like to see you pushing a little further here at this point. Why are you so slow? Meanwhile, this is the S&P. I got the 49 points just zippity dood up to the upside. Like there's no Doesn't give you even like a hint of trouble. I mean, outside of the fact that it didn't give us a pullback to get long, but this S&P is impressive. I don't even, there's nothing else to say about it. We're essentially, I mean, we're in wide open territory for the SPY for sure. We know that. So I guess in some ways we're in wide open territory for the S&Ps. NASDAQ almost looked like it was going to retest 483s there. 501.75s traded on the lows. It kind of looked like we might actually come down and do that. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Dow's trying to retest there. I can only be so fancy. Taking your time. 488.50s there. Russell kind of pulling back there. As long as we hold that, I think we'll be fine. Dow here maybe trying to hold opening print. Just me, but nothing. Is it just me or is like nothing great? Dow's actually giving that up there. Maybe Dow still does go get new lows. Yeah, nothing to do. I agree. I mean, the only thing would the next thing here would be we just traded 484s there for the NASDAQ. I was gonna say the next thing here would be some type of long in NASDAQ off 483s, but the fact that we just front ran that by a few ticks is obnoxious. Literally as I'm about to say that. Like that's essentially the only thing I see, and I don't love it. 1023 here. I'm still going to hold this Russell. It hasn't necessarily broken or done anything yet to warrant taking it off. The risk reward's phenomenal on it. So I don't want to ruin that. It's kind of coming back down though. Nasdaq, you suck. No test of 483s. They were gonna front run it. Like, that's the type of shit we're on today. That's what we're doing today. We're gonna front run by 3 ticks. Some bullshit Nikes. Russell might have just got its little shimmy here. I don't know. I think if this is how Nasdaq's going to treat it, then I think that the idea that we come back and test 483s at some point and create a little bit of a shimmy here, probably within the next like 20-ish to 35 minutes, somewhere in that range, I would be open to that shimmy taking a long in the event that we can get that. Maybe Dow gets a divergence at the same time, but if that's the case, it might take longer than that 20 to 35 minute window. So I'm leaving those 2 options on the board at the moment. Otherwise, yeah, otherwise we'll just leave the Russell to do what it is. Russell getting a little bit more pullback than I would like to see out of it, though. Nasdaq new highs there. That's kind of obnoxious, honestly. I thought we had the Russell pretty much on lock. Nasdaq just pushing. I wonder what these Qs, do we have 0 DTEs on Qs? What are these going for? Just curiosity. Dang it. They expensive. I don't even know what the, maybe 600 points. NASDAQ's up 600 points on the day. Technically, there's 500 points to go, so not quite that much. That would get the $10, $12 move maybe? 728, give or take. The 728s are 6 cents. 725s are 13 cents. $7.31 is the target on that. See something, these 725 calls are like 12 cents. We go to like $3, give or take, maybe. Maybe more. I don't know. I'm going to pull them up and just keep them on watch. In the event we do get this pullback here and can kind of shimmy these 483s, it might be a better way to play NASDAQ with some Qs potentially. I don't know. Part of me doesn't think we actually get the 483 test again. And that's just that whole piece where I said, yeah, we're in like runaway market mode. And it just does some nonsense pretty much and just goes on ahead and does the thing. That's kind of my thinking on it at the moment. I'm just like Johnny. There's smoke to get high. Close to walk that line. NASDAQ-y. Nice Russell move there. It kind of came back nicely. There's an idea for a NASDAQ here. Stops would be kind of under this 524s there. It's just a little 5-minute 1, 2, 3. I suppose it could work. That should give us our that should give us our trail there for the Russell. Dow kind of doing some interesting decisions there. S&P might actually be a little bit better of a long idea. Neither one are great though. Probably need to wait for this. Yeah, probably need to wait for this retest. Although if we run away, we're not going to get it. It's going to be the only piece. What are you doing, Dow? Dow's trying to come back up to the open there. Whoa. Whoa. I don't want to close the Russell, but I don't love that spike and then a pullback here. I don't know what that was. A little news spike, it looked like some sort of thingamajig. Russell kind of looks like it's going to hold it and keep pushing though. NASDAQ looks like it might want to get that 483s. And the Dow is trying to get through opening print here, so just kind of keeping an eye on that. You got this, Russell. You got this, baby girl. Go on with your bad self. I don't know if it does or doesn't, but interesting little spike in ticks and VIX there. Pushing those lows. If we can see the NASDAQ push up through these 570s that we just traded, I think we'll actually see a really nice move to the upside there because we've now got the Dow. We don't have the divergence in there, but we did potentially find a little higher low trying to get back over the open now. Russell obviously held down there where it should have. And we're trying to get something going here to the upside, which I think we might get. Oh. And the way Russell's acting, I kind of think it might even hold if NASDAQ does pull back to 483s. But if NASDAQ gets this push right here, I think we can see Russell get that move. Turn all the lights down low, take it nice and slow. You keep doing what you're doing to me all night long. No one gotta have it, what the passion takes to hide. Making the kind of love we made. Tonight I'm 5150s there traded for NASDAQ. Let's go, Russell. Nice and slow. Nobody's doing what you do to me all night long. Be your Let's go, Russell. Currently, we're just sitting here waiting for this Russell to make the move. We got positions from down there around 3008. If you guys are just tuning in, appreciate you coming on, hanging out with us. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and stick around. That's my spiel. Thanks for coming on, hanging out with me. See if we can't get this Russell to make the move here. I really want to wait for this NASDAQ to get down there to 483s. I would really, really like that. But part of me thinks it wants to try and move right here. There's a new 15-minute bar getting ready to form here now. And that pullback is still 42s. I'm just traded up to what, 6150s there. I think we might still get this pullback here. I don't know. I wouldn't be upset by it if it can, because that would give us a new entry, but we're just kind of chilling here. Yeah, that's what did you watch the nightly video last night? Because that's almost verbatim what I said, is just that we might have to get a little bit more aggressive here on some of the entries. The problem is I don't want to be aggressive right now in NASDAQ with it being like 70 points above the level there, 483s. If we had tested it and not front ran it, that would be a different story. But the fact that we didn't test it and we got that front run is like, it's tough because it's like, damn, I don't really want to step in front of that, because 70 points back to the level would obviously, that would hurt. I'm not really trying to size for that per se. But also there's 500 points to go to the upside. So it's like, he's like, I don't really know that there's like words for that one. We are, however, finding a bit of a bottom here in this Dow. I don't really know how much more that can run on the day. I guess technically Nasdaq's up 2.27, Dow's only up 1.39, so maybe more. It was the consistency rule is per trade, not per day. Yeah, I guess that would make a difference, right? I don't know. Personally, I'm not like opposed to the consistency if you change the style of trade. But like the traditional way in which we trade, right, is like there may be days where we capture, 150, 200 plus points in the Nasdaq, right? And it's like if we do that, like we're going to blow consistency on those things out of the water. Like for example, the 731s from yesterday, right? Like that ended up rallying like over 200 points by the end of the day from that. And this may hold true here as well. Like off 483s, we may rally 500 points from that, right? So I think with the consistency, it's more of like, hey, here's the level, here's the divergence. Let me kind of grab this with a 1-to-1 type of approach, 1-to-2 potentially type of approach, and then it's just like, all right, we did our thing, we're done, and we just got to wait for the next day, right? Dude, these freaking spam callers are absolutely just obnoxious. Since 9 o'clock this morning, I have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's freaking insane. The front runs are ridiculous. Did gold front run that 4131s? Oh, it did by 2 ticks. That is some obnoxious. That's some obnoxious nonsense. We got a nice position going here in the Russell, though. 3020 is about to break 3021s here. See if we can't get that little spike high that we just had. That's that's a sign of a pretty strong market. We've seen these before where we'll get these random little spikes like this, right? And we fight it off. Like it initially rallies, kind of pulls back there. As long as we can get back up through like that 30, 21, 10s here and keep the move moving, then I like it. I think there's legitimately like another 19 points potentially in here. 9 kind of at a minimum there. I don't know why that does that. That's kind of annoying. Yeah, 30, 39, 80s, and then above there it's like 30, 67s or something. Yeah, 30, 67, 30s, which is technically that's the next level above that the indicator shows on trading view. It doesn't even count the 30, 39, 80s, which is technically fine. Dance around the fireplace. To never get to see the northern lights. See the Eiffel Tower at night. Hold your hand in my hand. I could die a happy man. Could die a happy man. NASDAQ here maybe going to get that pullback into 483s, which would be really, really nice for us, I think, if it can provide the entry that we're looking for here. I thought you were looking for 25s. You just taking it for consistency? Dow making new highs there now as well. Let's see if we can get a little more movement here. I would like to buy the NASDAQ at 483s. That would make me happy. Dow making a really big move there. Well, I shouldn't say really big. Dow making a nice move there. Coming off those lows. Keep on grinding it up there, Russell. Once you're funded on Lucid, is the max drawdown still 2K or what you have built up? So whatever, like if you're trading the 50Ks, so once you get over, I think it's 50 to 100 maybe, then it locks at 5,100. So whatever the account size is plus $100, it'll show you in the dashboard. Like if you go into your account and then the view details or whatever, it'll give you the minimum balance, and it'll essentially like lock there. So whatever that ends up being. That doesn't change anymore. Essentially, once you're over whatever that threshold is. Like I said, I think it's $100 over whatever your total drawdown initially was. Yeah, so it'll show you. It'll update. If you're technically, I guess, if you're oh, but you're doing pros, right? Or did you do flex? It might be a touch different on the pros. Yeah, let me look real quick. I think it's a touch different. I just want to make sure I quote it right. Yeah, so it's 52 100, and then it'll lock at 5,100. So it is the same as the flex. I just wanted to make sure. So yeah, you're good. You was good. If anybody hasn't checked out Lucid though, one of my favorite firms, I'll drop a link right there. My personal favorite is the Lucid Flex. What isn't gay at this point, Shadow? It's all an illusion. Fuck, Nasdaq's not going to pull back for that entry. Solid day on evals. What'd you take, the Russell? What's the firm I was talking about? I can't say it. I signed an NDA yesterday, so we'll see. I don't know what it's going to be, but I did sign the NDA, so I'll have the call with them. If it turns out to be stupid, then I'll obviously say something about it, but I don't know what the plan is for them at the moment, but we'll see. I have no idea. Like I have legitimately no information about whatever the conversation is supposed to be, except that I had to sign an NDA in order to have the conversation. I'm like, but it isn't, I can tell you who it's not. Like it's not Top Step, obviously. It's not Lucid, Take Profit, Tradeify, Apex, 10-4, Although I did hear that they might have something coming out soon too, but I don't have details on that either. I was like kind of teased about it. I was like, come on, like what is this? Um, but no, it's a completely different. It's a completely different prop than anything I've talked about before ever. I don't think I've ever even mentioned them. What are we doing with Vanquish? So honestly, I think that the Vanquish model is. I don't want to say it's cooked, because I still really like those guys over there. We have a pretty good relationship, and oddly enough, there was a chat room like fucking 12 years ago or something that I used to pop into from time to time, and one of the guys from in there was actually in that same chat room. Um, it might have actually been like 2013. So yeah, I don't know. I don't like the. There's some things with the platform I'm not a big fan of. The cost and like the recurring side of it, I'm not a huge fan of it. Because I think it should be a one-time thing, just like everything else. Right, essentially now is a one-time payment, no monthly type thing. Um, so and also with the PDT rule getting essentially nixed, then it's like it kind of it doesn't make sense to some degree anymore, and it's like I hate that that's the case for them, but also at the same time, like I do like that that's the case for the average trader. So I don't know. I haven't pushed them, but there are a couple other option prop firms that are trying to come out. I don't know. It's a tough. I think that it works if that's it works if you use it for the intended purpose, which is like, hey, I can put $500 in here and get $5,000 worth of drawdown. Let me use it for some straight up YOLO type stuff. Um, but then again, you're still paying the $500 a month, right? So I don't know. But yeah. I saw something else. Am I a fan of the Lucid Daily Plan? So I haven't traded any of those yet. Obviously, I saw they released them. My only thing with those, I would agree to them. I think with an end of day drawdown and no daily loss limit, because essentially at that point it becomes basically like a flex account in the sense that to pass it, 50% consistency, the normal $3,000 profit target, 2K drawdown. As long as it's end of day, I think that's fine. And as long as you can hold as long as you can then get the initial move to get over that hurdle for the drawdown in funded, which is like the same thing in like Take Profit Trader, same thing in Apex, stuff like that. Then I would be more okay with it. I don't like the drawdown moving to intraday once you technically are funded, just because it's like, for example, like yesterday, like if you pick up that position in the Nasdaq and it ends up working obviously for 200 points, but if you can't hold it because of drawdown, like you're worried about that intraday drawdown. Yesterday was fairly clean, but something like today, there's a 75-point pullback off the highs over there. There's another 40, 50 points worth of pullback over here. Like that's $1,000. So like if you had picked up a position this morning somewhere in here, you might not have been able to hold it. And that's the only thing that I don't like about intraday drawdowns. Now again, once you get through whatever that balance cap is that you need, then maybe it makes more sense. But yeah, I mean, Again, it's just kind of more of the style of like what it is you want to do. That I will agree with Shadow on 100%. I'm not a big fan of it personally. It's kind of like this Russell trade, right? Like we got the Russell from, basically 3008s. We trade all the way up to 3018s. We pull almost back to break even. It's like, let's say we had 2 or 3 contracts on for this because the risk was legitimately only 2.5 points, which was technically a little oversized, right? It's $125 per contract. So let's just say we put 2 of them on for $250 worth of risk. That pullback would have been almost $1,000, right? It was almost 10 points worth of pullback. We traded 0.950s. So it's like, I would much rather personally, because of where the target is, I would much rather have end of day drawdown and just be like, okay, it either works or it doesn't. It still fit within my parameters. My initial risk was still only, $250 in the example. So like, let me just let it work. You know what I mean? And now essentially we can get a better than break even trail. We can pull stops up, essentially right under this 0.950s, which will be better than break even for us at this point. So depending on your entry, it might be right at break even, whatever. But I would prefer the end of day trail on everything. Remove payout caps. That would be nice, honestly. Oh, am I close to 10-4 payout? I'm fairly close. I don't want to jinx it at the moment. I'm fairly close. I got 2 accounts over there that I'm trading at the moment. I was trying to get that pullback to 483s to put that on in one of those accounts actually. Yeah, I still trade live capital. The props are mostly just the side quests. Like I said, I'm going to talk about it a couple times. I think that at some point this year we'll start to see not necessarily a move away from props, but I think we'll start to see like kind of a resurgence of the option side of things and everything. And I'm kind of okay with that. Like props definitely have their place. I enjoy them. It's stupid risk to reward. Like I've got $180 tied up in some Lucid Flex accounts that have like $6,200 in profit in them, and it's like, okay, I can go ahead and take a freaking. It's basically like a lotto options. Is essentially the way it like. I pay $90 for the account. I pass it and run it up, get a $2,000 payout. Like, yeah, it might take me 5 days, 6 days, whatever. Well, 7 days, including the um, passing it, etc. But yeah, that's just the way in which I view them at the moment. Hold on, give me 1 minute because I'm gonna go take a leak real quick. NASDAQ just ripping. What's our plan to blow MLT up as number one? Man, I'm just going to continue to stay consistent. I got some new content and stuff I want to put out. And the live streams and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the main goal is just stay consistent. I got a couple things in the works on that. Obviously, the new lifetime, the indicators, the scanners, all that kind of stuff too. And then there's more things being worked on that side. It's just the development of tech in general is more in depth than I thought or anticipated. Like way more than I anticipated, but yeah. Any plans on adding any other active admin or analyst type shit? Yeah, I mean that was kind of the original goal with Osborne, was potentially kind of scaling out and having a couple other people on voice and stream and things like that. I think that's still partially a goal. It's just not the main focus at the moment. I just want to get my workflow kind of complete in the sense that of the things that I want to get done and add and stuff like that. And then from there, I think that'll kind of only enhance who it is that we can bring on and guest and things like that as well. So it's a lot of work, honestly. Like more so than I think some people might realize. Yeah, we'll get Shadow his own show. There's a bunch of fiery Elmos in the background. This NASDAQ is just no retest of 483s for us, huh? Yeah, no, I appreciate that for sure. The main thing is I just want to like provide the value. Like, I don't know. I guess I could come on and do something entertaining and, you know, have that be the reason you watch. But like at the end of the day, like we're here for markets and for trading in general, right? And if you don't make money listening to me, or it doesn't save you money from doing dumb shit from listening to me, then like what's the point? You know what I mean? Like that's the whole goal. So we're here for shit posting and making money. I mean, making money is definitely the goal. I certainly could make way more money from selling education and, you know, indicators and courses and signals, whatever you want to say, than I currently do. That's for sure. Like, I'm probably one of the smaller creators from that standpoint, like from a revenue standpoint. Like I actually, and matter of fact, I know that I am, because there's a lot of people that make 6 figures plus per month just from affiliate revenue, which I don't do anywhere, nowhere close to that. Like, not even close. Yo, I got you. I can get you. I can get you a 2 for sure. I can get you a code and everything for 2 firms as a guarantee. Oh, yeah. Anybody that wants to promote the MLT Discord or whatever, the mentorship, either way, like I'll definitely give you a kickback for sure. Yeah, hit them up. There is technically through WAP, you can set up the affiliate and grab your link from there. But like if there's someone that you're just like chatting with and a friend or whatever, and you want them to hit me up, obviously then I'm gonna pay you for it regardless if they use your link or not. This market really is trying for 30,061. That's crazy. Can I invest $1 in your business? I got you. I got you. Let the Russell get to target first. That's what I need at the moment. $30, 27, 20s. We got a couple on. We got a couple. It's the only thing I got on at the moment. I thought we were going to get a chance to get some of those Q calls. Am I done doing live mentorships? I think so. I mean, the way in which it's structured now is almost, I wouldn't say better, but like there's so much content in there that spans over, you know, so many different types of markets that you can go back and watch in the mentorship that I almost think that it's probably underpriced for the value that it is. But yeah, it's just tough. I mean, he ain't never getting lifetime. That man faking. He's been faking for a while. He told me, I want to say it was like October of last year. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm signing up next week." I was like, "Okay." Um, but yeah, it's just a lot of work to do them live. Like, that's a lot. Yeah, I mean, he's doing it without listening to me though. So I don't necessarily fault him for that. Like, the Sensei Fund. There's a lot of people that have made a lot of money from MLT that didn't contribute back in. It is what it is. I'm not I'm not I'm not pressed by it. Shadow's been around for a minute. He did. He bought the first rendition. I do look back at some of that content and I'm like, damn, I can do so much better now from like a content perspective. Yeah, Shadow's been around for a while. I don't know if we should take some profits on this Russell or not. There's been people in this game for freaking ever. I mean, legitimately, there's been people in this space for longer than some of us have been alive. Gonna teach levels and say I came up with it. Hey, there's some that do that. There's some that do that. Nothing I can do about it. I guess I probably could like maybe try and patent or copyright the term or the words or whatever. I don't know. There is um whatever it is. Uh Something in the terms of service, like essentially like a non-compete. I mean, I would agree with you except for the SPY. Like when you look at the S&P futures, it doesn't look as aggressive maybe, but when you look at SPY, it's like this is a clear this is a clear new high. Like 4 days we just went all the way right back up to highs, made new highs. Same thing here in the DIA. The QQQ obviously has a lot more room to go. IWM here, we're basically there. Like we're trying. $300 right here. 302s are those highs. So I don't know. I'm not necessarily going to be trying to fade this. Kind of like the idea off of 483s today. Like if we were going to fade, that probably would have been the place for it, at least initially today, unless we get a wild move up to 3,061s, which honestly is where I think we're going. Like that's where I think the move is today is 3,061s. I don't know what that looks like for QQQ. I think it's like three, not three. I think it's 728 maybe. So there's another, yeah, basically 8 points. So 8 points in here would put us at like what, 726s. The level's like 731s. It's a little further than that. But yeah, somewhere up in there, I think. Either that or we don't get it today and then we gap up again tomorrow, kind of similar to yesterday. Like we didn't trade 29085s yesterday. We freaking gap up above it today, no retest, and then just freaking rip to the upside. So I could see both. I could see both of those things being true again. Although a big gap tomorrow, I'd probably be a little bit more bearish on it than bullish. I just want to see. Just want to see the Russell make this move. We might be able to start playing this a little tighter here. I mean, we're up about 19 points. At some point, we got to do something with it, I think. It's looking nice, though. A pullback on SPY would be nice. Even a little rest day tomorrow wouldn't be a terrible idea. I think we just got that retest there in gold. Yeah, we traded 31s there. Be a 100-point pullback in the Dow to get open again. It'd be 140 points here to get that 683s. So yeah, I guess if there's 400 points here, the NASDAQ can move. There's roughly $10 that the QQQ can move. $9.75. So call it 728, give or take. 30.27's there. Mm-hmm. 11:36 here. We're also breaking out to get new highs. Yeah, I'm about to do the same. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. You're almost there. I'm not going to press for it, though, and neither should you. Yo. What is that, NASDAQ? What is that? All right, Russell here. I don't know what this is at the moment, but we're making moves. I'm going to go ahead and bring a trail stop in up here towards like 26, just the low of this 5-minute bar. 26.70s is that low at the moment. I don't like, yeah, might as well. Freaking put it right up in here. We're basically, this was that first target, like 29.80 area here. So we're essentially, we're there. We got 20 couple points in this thing now. So I don't really want to do anything crazy with it. I'm just going to go ahead and lock it in, let it do its thing from here on out. And if NASDAQ wants to continue to move, then so be it. Let it do it. You want a new charger? Like a Dodge Charger? My man said he wants a Hellcat. I mean, listen, there's a joke in there I can make. There's a joke in there I can make. It might land with some people, it might not land with others. I feel like that's a big difference. You go from a Challenger to an Alfa Romeo. I feel like I saw you post that. Am I about to call you black? No, I'm not about to call you black. I'm not about to call you black. I was just going to say you are darker skinned, but I don't know that you're dark enough skinned for that. But the fact that you knew exactly where I was thinking with that one just tells me that stereotypes exist for a reason. Well, yeah, I mean, okay, you live in Michigan. Let's get a rear-wheel drive car. Like, what's you think that's not going to happen in the Charger? I don't know if I would believe that, honestly. I don't know if I would believe that. Although now you got me thinking about the whole like shadow piece to it. It's possible, I guess. The new Chargers are all-wheel drive? I'm not really a Dodge guy personally. A little scat. There's got to be a scat pack, right? For the all-wheel drive? That would actually make sense. Yeah, so some of them are, depends on the trim and model year. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not really a Dodge. I'm not a Dodge guy. The TRXs are sick, but I'd still take a Raptor over it. Russell's moving. She's moving. Come on, baby girl. Yeah, the Broncos are hit or miss for me because, like, I grew up in the what I consider to be like the peak Bronco era, and like it's just tough. It's tough for that. Like to compare new Broncos to like the 70s and 80s Broncos, even like the OJ Bronco. Actually, I tell you what, the Dodge made a Dodge Ram two-door SUV. Yeah, they made the Ram Charger, 1981 to 1993. The Dodge Ram Charger. Actually, sorry, it was produced from 1974 to 2001. And it competed with the Bronco. That, those were sick. You've been told you're a black man trapped inside a white man's body. Oh, you're Scottish and Irish? Oh shit, we might be related. Low key, way back in the day. I'm an O'Brien on my Irish side and a Fraser on the Scottish side. Are you a ginger? That would actually totally. That might would. That might would mess my head up a little bit. Definitely not a ginger. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just. uh, like a Braveheart kind of look to it, is what you're saying. Pakistan saving the world. Dude, I don't even know what's happening over there. It's kind of crazy, honestly. James Fraser from Outlander. I don't think I've ever seen that. All right. Not bad, not bad. Where did I say NASDAQ had room to? I saw that comment was somewhere up there. Where'd that go? 30,061. 30061. Like 300 points from here. Sorry. 380 points from here, technically. That's still a ways away. Holy shit, that's actually a lot still. Better have room to 700 here so this 10-4 account gets what it needs. That's only 15 points. We should be good for that. Man, I was debating those longs up there at like 550s. They're 130 points higher now. I just didn't want to sit through a 70-point pullback if that was the case. Obviously, we didn't do that. We just continued to rip because this market's on crack. Can you ball like Jason Williams? Because you got height, right? Any giveaways? Yeah, I might do one. I might do one. I'm trying to hold out, see if we can finish this move. There's a little prize up for grab there for you, Ola. Said these nuts. Yeah, we got a lot of points in this Russell. I don't know what to do with it. At the moment, I kind of want to bring this trail up a little bit more because we're 10 points away. You got this, Braylor? Where are you locking in on the Russell with us? Where'd you put it at? I don't want to like choke it too tight, but like there's 2 days in a row now our S&Ps are up over 100 points. On the YRTY, originally entered on the 2-minute break and retest, and closed break even and re-entered on the 2-minute potential higher low, post 5-minute trigger, trailing real time risk reward from level currently 2032.80s. Okay. So you're looking at 39s as that target. I mean, I kind of think we're close. I mean, obviously we're close, but I know that's kind of the thing I'm looking at is like Nikes. Kind of want that 3067s, but I don't want to be too greedy with it. I mean, shit, 30 points. If we hit the 3980s, it's kind of a nice move. I feel like I should probably take it though. No, I'm not necessarily going to go for it. I mean, this is actually rather large at this point. I actually didn't really realize just what that looked like for a second. 3370s are those lows. Yeah, I might go ahead and take this. I mean, what the hell are we waiting for realistically? I'm gonna bump this up to like 32s. Probably doesn't make sense to give it much more than that. It's probably a good spot to take profits anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna bring trails up to 32s. That locks in like 23 points. Yeah, 23 and change. Yeah, we had a 2.5 point stop. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I'm cool with that. Yeah, I don't blame you. I agree, actually. I just had to look at it. We was rallying. We was rallying. I mean, if we can get up to targets, 3,061s, then I don't even know at that point. Mm. 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 Russell made new highs there. Oh yeah, still a great day. Even with small size, this is, I mean, what are we up? Like 20, 26 points? Yeah. Yeah, even with small size, that's going to be it's going to be a nice move. Honestly, regardless of size, this is a nice move. Like, there's $130 per micro contract, $1,300 per full contract. I think we're basically at the point now where we have a little bit more upside, I think, in the Russell potentially here. But I do think that that risk reward is starting to get a little bit skewed. So yeah, it probably makes sense to look to do what we're talking about doing here and trailing this thing up a little tighter. I really kind of wish we had a Dow divergence down there at like 1030. That would have been nice. If you guys haven't checked out 10-4 yet, I'll drop the link for you guys there. I'm kind of a fan of the TradingView integration piece to it. Honestly, I like it. This NASDAQ is different. Straight up into new highs there. You just want it to trail you so you can go fishing? I don't fully blame you on that. I got like $60 to make in one of these accounts to get my number that I didn't technically trade this account today, but I need my $150 daily number just to have it. Oh. It looks like that. Just got it. Just got it. I'll take it. I hate doing that, honestly. It's like cheating. Yeah, I guess I need. Yeah, I need a little bit over there too, but whatever. Julian's around. He was in the chat this morning. He's been doing his thing. Oh Lord, when it rains, it pours. We might get this Russell to push one more time for us here. 3580s just traded there. See if we can't get that to push up, get new highs, and go get those 39s. NASDAQ struggling here at the moment. 29,700's kind of holding us up there for a brief little moment in time. Tesla is interesting right here. Tesla got this little rally and pullback here to 325.30s. Honestly, if you're looking for something to do, there's a pretty tight little entry right in there. It's basically like a 60-cent stop on Tesla, essentially under 325s. And targets on this would, I mean, there's basically nothing until 343s. It's a tight little 2-minute trade there. I don't know if it works, but it's trying to set up there. I don't know what that looks like from an option standpoint. Let me see. 340s are like 70 cents. 325s are like $4.50. It's not terrible, actually. Yeah, if you want something there in Tesla, I don't think it's bad. I'm kind of mentally over today already, but it might not take long for that to stop too if NASDAQ pulls back. But like I said, it's a really tight little 2-minute. Technically, could wait 20 minutes to get that closed, but no, I know. It should have made that move too. It really should. It could technically reject from here, 325s, which we're kind of actually breaking down from now, but that daily is going to have a struggle here in a bit. Come on, Russell. You want longs in NVIDIA? NVIDIA over 213s. Yeah, I like that weekly actually. Yeah, it's fairly decent. Fairly decent. Mm. 3250s traded there. We're still in it. I'm gonna stop at 32, held in there. My stops at 32 saved me. Very displeased. Another leg up here would make me slightly less displeased. We look like we're gonna try and rally it again. I mean, I think we go to 3,000, 30,061s here. I'm not gonna do anything with it or about it because I just don't love continued entries up here. But yeah. You don't think we go that high today? I don't see why we wouldn't. There's nothing else. There's nothing else between here and there. Like it could certainly do what it did yesterday and kind of like stall out early. But yeah, there's nothing between here and there. The website is not loading. Which website? My website? 10-4. Let me see. It's loading for me. 10-4.com. That link that I sent you doesn't work? The link that I dropped in the chat? Somebody tell me, does this work? Let me know if that works. I mean, like I said, it's working on my end. It opens and then the screen goes black. I shouldn't do that. There's new highs for NASDAQ. Hold on. Yeah, maybe if you have an ad blocker or something on. Yeah, that's probably why. This NASDAQ is moving. Still 350 points to go. 30-36 is here for this Russell. $30-37s. Let's go, baby. You still in this, Brailer? Where was your stop at? What a move. What a move. I might just leave it trailed at 32 and just let it rock. See if we can't push through these 39s. I mean, if we do happen to go get 67s, I mean, at this point, I don't even. We're in uncharted territory for the S&P and the Dow. So I kind of don't really want to like cap this upside. Just let it do what it wants, I guess, right? I mean, just let it keep on going. We're just letting it rock. Letting it rock. Tesla's back over this 325.30s. Oh, you got trailed? Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, no, I don't blame you on that. I mean, I'm locked in here. I'm probably about to roll, honestly, myself. This back to back, two like longer days than I would like for them to be. But I guess I can't really complain. We got about 30 points here in the Russell. We're just shy of 30 points. 29.5 at the moment. Yeah, we're basically at the level now. 39.80s. We're pretty freaking close. At this point, I mean, let me ask Google a quick question. So, if the IWM rallies $1.70, how much will the RTY rally? Yeah, that's not right. It says 170 point move. That's not true. That's not true. That is certainly not true. I think it'd be like another 17 points though. I'm looking, I'm seeing the IWM is up $4.79 today. The RTY is up like $48 today. So I'm assuming it's like 10 to 1. So yeah, so I'm locked in at 30.32. That gives me about 6 points worth of risk to see if we can't make another like 17 points, assuming that the Russell can go for new all-time highs today. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it locked in there at 30.32s and see if we can't make another 17 points. That'll put us at, call it 45.55. So 30.55. I'll be okay with that. Another 17 points. What is that? Another 850 bucks, give or take. So yeah, I'm cool with that. Risk 6 points to make that. I have yet to take a trim. Or anything. We're still holding size. So yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna let that work. And NASDAQ to 3,061. Let it do its thing. And I think we're happy. We should be. I would like to have NASDAQ on from that 483s because that'd be 240 points at this moment in time, but we front ran it, so there's nothing I can do about that. But yeah, stops are in place. Should be good. That's all I got. That's all I know. Anybody have any questions? When crypto is mooning? Dude, I have no idea. That chart on Bitcoin looks really bad, honestly. Excuse me. You talking about with 10-4? How I trade on the trading? That's the only thing I've done on TradingView from an execution standpoint. I mean, I'm still using Toss charts. I just have them up in the browser window. That's their integration. Yeah, I guess you technically can. Yeah, I mean, I can do a video on it. It's the same as like basically every other dome, essentially. I'm actually starving. When is the toss prop coming? Probably never, realistically. I mean, they're not worried about about props. The amount of money they got under management is insane. I'm actually kind of in the process currently, just funny enough. Not a prop firm. Yeah, that's typically how it starts. That's typically the reasoning, yeah. Yeah, you got to get licensed to collect fees or do anything like that with it. Yeah, that's the one. It's not a bad. It's just the wording on certain things are like obnoxious. All right, I'm gonna roll. I gotta get some food. I'm actually starving. I didn't eat my burrito this morning like I normally do. I skipped out on that. So, and it is already 12:40. I gotta hit the gym and get some other things done as well. So, we just traded 39.50s there. We're right up against this 39.80s being the target area there. We're like damn near there. Meta actually breaking new lows there. Interesting. Excuse me. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. NASDAQ either goes up to 3,061 or we stall out somewhere along the way. The S&Ps are just on an absolute tear. We're up 119 points on the day. The Dow, same thing. We're up 949 points on the day. And the Dow, the Russell here somehow, the one that we're trading, can't really complain, obviously, but we're up, 30 couple points on that now, I think. 30 and some change here. Yeah, just crossing over the 30 points on that. It's up 49 points on the day. So it looks really good there. And NASDAQ here up 820 points, which is insanity. 820 points on NASDAQ. Yeesh. But yeah, so anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. I got stops in place on the Russell here, and we'll let that continue to do what it wants to do. We're either going to get another like 17 points out of it potentially here, or we'll get trailed out 32s. I think it's in a pretty safe, quote unquote, spot for that stop loss. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a nice day either way. So I'm happy with it. It's been making us wait around for a while, but nonetheless, we were able to get something working with it. So we'll let that just do its thing, and I will check back in a little bit. I guess I'll put up a story here real quick and kind of showcase this trade, and then go get some food, or go get some food and then come back and show it. One of the two. So, anyways, that's what I got. I'm gonna roll. I feel like my brain's a little fried. I've been looking at these screens for too long today. So appreciate you guys as always. Code MLT at your favorite prop firms. Most of you guys have already joined the mentorship, but if you want to join the mentorship, I recommend it. And if you got any questions, obviously hit me up. I'll check back in a little bit just because I have this position on. But at the moment, 30-32s is going to be that area for me to get out. Stop losses in place. Or if we continue to run, then I'll just continue to hold it and see what it wants to do. So that's what I got. I will check back in with you guys in a little bit. Hope you guys all had a great day and don't do anything dumb here. And I'll see you guys then. Peace.